word out is kind of the key there. So an outlier is something that is outside the pattern of the rest of the data. So on a graph, I hope it's pretty clear which one kind of doesn't fit. Can you look across the way here and circle what you think the outlier would be in that scatter plot? Okay, hopefully you circled that one. Okay, outliers do not have to be greater than all the values. They could also be below where most of all the values are, so that's why we use the word outside. So we also have something called correlation. Correlation just means the way in which one variable changes in relation to another. So, yes, I do. Those bleed the worst for some reason. What I want you to write down about correlation is that correlation does not mean causation. So just because things have a pattern, it doesn't mean one thing causes the other. Okay, let me give you an example. There is data that shows on the beach in Holland, Michigan, that on certain days in the summer, ice cream sales increase, and so do drownings.
Oh my gosh.
Does that mean that ice cream sales causes the drownings?
No.
No. Why do you think they both are higher on certain days, maybe?
Because more people are at the beach.
Because more people are at the beach because of the temperature, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so sometimes things could be like have the same like pattern, but it doesn't mean that one causes the other. So just kind of be careful with that. Those things don't necessarily mean that one causes the other. So we have three kinds of correlation, and there's some pictures below. This is all in the positive category. So what I want you to note is as I go to the right, do you see how the data is going upwards? Okay. The tighter it is, like the closer it is to a line, we call that stronger. As those points kind of start to spread out, then we call that weaker. So this would be really strong, this would be moderate, this would be weak, because the data is kind of going positive, but it gets spread out. So as we go to the right, up, that's the positive part, and then determining how close those points are together. This middle row is negative correlation. Once again, this would be something that now as I go to the right, it's going down. So this is saying temperature and heater sales. Well, that makes sense. Okay. So as, well, actually, yes, as the temperature goes up, the heater sales goes down. Okay, so what's this one down here? I can't even read it. This one is moderate, and you can see on some of them, they'll draw a little line for you to see how far away from the line is. But this looks like it's something with countries in Europe, but the data is kind of spread out, but it's still in a negative pattern. This would be pretty weak. It's generally going down, but the data is like spread out. No correlation. no correlation would be, there's no like strong, moderate, or weak. It just looks like kind of, I guess you could think of it as a flat line could be drawn through it. But this isn't going up or down, is it? Same with this. So there's no pattern of positive or negative. So those are our three types of correlation.
So I don't really get what correlation means. Like I know we described it, but I don't know what
This is what it means. If I said something has positive correlation, that means as this variable goes up, the points generally go up. If something has negative correlation, that means as the x or independent goes up, the data generally goes down.
Okay.
And then no correlation means as the data goes up to this way, it's not doing anything. We can't tell if it's going up or down. It has to do with kind of like slope, yes. All right, here we go. What I want you to do with the person next to you is, would you try to describe 1, 3, and 5 with those two words? So you want to use positive, negative, and then tell me if you think it's strong, weak. You could even use moderate if you want. And sometimes it's hard to tell the strong, weak part or the moderate, weak part, but you should at least be able to tell me positive, negative, no. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. No, sorry, 1, 3, and 5. 1, 3, and 5. I'm going to give you a second to do it with the person next to you. Sure, you can do it together. Alrighty. Frank, what did you guys put for number 1? Strong, positive. I don't think there's any room for discussion on that one. Some of them, it's like you can't tell between moderate and weak sometimes, and then I would accept either. What do you think? We'll go back to 2 in a second. What about 3? Oh, wow, moderate, negative. That's what I put, but you could probably make a case for, if you said weak, negative, that's okay. I wouldn't call it strong. They're just a little too, yeah. Negative for sure, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I know I misspoke. I said 1, 2, and 3, but then I said 1, 3, and 5, so hopefully you did 5. What do you think about 5? Yes, go for it.
I'm not sure. Is it like negative and weak? It's like all the...
Yes, I would call that weak, negative. I would also say if somebody made a case and said they thought it was moderate, I would be okay with that too.
Because I didn't know, because I thought like it had to be a lot of dots, but like, you know.
All right, let's do, now that you kind of have the feel of it, 2. You're my correlation expert. Go for it.
Like there's no correlation with strong.
I don't think that data is going up or down, so I would call that no correlation. What do you think about 4?
Moderately.
Moderate or weak, I think you could say. Weak or moderate, I would accept, and that's positive.
And then
6 would be no correlation. So really the point of our lesson today is, could you, if you saw a scatter plot, could you use those words to describe what the data is doing? Okay. Alrighty. See, short and sweet.